The drilling industry continued to characterize problems associated with fracking and shale gas extraction as irrelevant and exaggerated, while opponents held them up as harbingers of disastrous consequences to come. Politicization of the issues intensified as the 2012 election year approached. On September 7, 2011, about 1,500 industry leaders and proponents gathered at the Philadelphia Convention Center for Shale Gas Insights, a two-day conference headlined by Aubrey McClendon, the Chesapeake CEO. It also featured Tom Ridge, the former governor of Pennsylvania and Homeland Security Secretary, who was completing his one-year, $900,000 contract as industry spokesman, Pennsylvania Governor Tom Corbett, and former Governor Ed Rendell. At the same time, a like number of activists gathered in the streets of Philadelphia's centered city for a two-day event of their own dubbed Shale Gas Outrage, featuring protests, rallies, marches, concerts, and demonstrations. Activists chanting, "It's our water, it's our right," marched through Center City towards the industry conference at the convention center, waving signs and toting banners. "We all live downstream. They said it was safe in the Gulf too. Fight back now." Inside the convention center, Ridge had kicked off the conference that morning with a speech equating shale gas development with national security. He warned about the dangers of dependence on oil from politically unstable countries and called to make natural gas a featured part of the country's energy policy. As McClendon began his lunchtime speech, a parade of protesters began arriving in front of the convention center windows. The Chesapeake CEO lampooned the crowd as eco-extremist, spreading a message of unfettered fear-mongering that was the enemy of progress. "What a glorious vision of the future," he said. "It's cold, it's dark, and we're all hungry." Chanting protesters continued to fill the block in front of the convention center, facing a stage with large speakers. Josh Fox, who had recently won an Emmy for his film Gasland, took the stage and addressed the cheering crowd. "We are running out of fossil fuels," he announced. "Instead of doing the logical thing, the rational thing, the scientific thing, the civilized thing, which is to move our society to renewable energy as fast as possible, the energy industry has decided to go insane." Fox could not be heard inside the convention center, where McClendon told his audience that concerns over methane migration were overblown to begin with, and now irrelevant in light of improved casing standards adopted by the industry. "Problem identified, problem solved," he said. "That's how we do it in the natural gas industry." Nor could Fox hear McClendon. The filmmaker turned activist called for acts of civil disobedience to stop the industry, and recounted how liberated he felt when he was handcuffed and led into a paddy wagon at a recent protest in Washington, D.C. To loud cheers, he called for grassroots supporters to do the same if regulators permitted drilling in the Delaware watershed, the source of Philadelphia's water. "It's time to shut them down," Fox yelled, his voice reverberating off downtown buildings. "We will blockade the well sites. It's time to get in the paddy wagon."